Good morning. Today we want to work with finding coterminal angles. Let's do some examples as we work through explaining what a coterminal angle would be. Let's start by drawing a 150 degree angle. We practiced this yesterday. We know that we will start with the initial side at 0. We know 180 degrees is halfway around the circle. So we would stop just a little bit short of that. So this would be our terminal side. This angle from here to here is 150 degrees. When we talk about a coterminal angle, we want to name a different way of naming the same angle, but one from a positive direction and one from a negative angle that is not the same as the original problem. Let's find the negative angle first. Start at the initial side and draw the arc around to the terminal side. So if we draw it around there, ask yourself, how many degrees would that be? Well, you've used 150 on the top half. There's 360 in the whole circle. So you could take 360 and subtract 150. We would find that the negative angle would be negative 210 degrees. And that would be a negative coterminal angle. It starts at the initial side, stops at the terminal side. Now, we also want to find a positive coterminal angle. To find the positive coterminal angle, we start at the initial. We start drawing around to the terminal, but that would be the same as the original angle. So we have to continue on around the whole circle and start a second trip around and then stop at the terminal side. So how far would the green angle be? You can see that that would be 360 plus the original 150, which would give us a 510 degree angle. So our two coterminal angles, the positive is 510 degrees, negative is negative 210 degrees. Let's do another example. Let's say that we start with a negative 430 degrees. Begin by drawing the angle. We start with our initial side. Negative 430 means we're going to go around the circle, and we would stop down about right here. This would be around the full circle and down to here. That's negative 430. Now, let's find our negative angle. This time we can start at the initial side. We can just draw it down to here. The red angle is not the same angle as what the original black angle is. How big is the red angle? And you could take 430, subtract the 360, and we could see that that would just be a negative 70 degrees. That would be the negative coterminal. As far as finding the positive, we have to start at the initial, come around in the positive direction. We can stop at the terminal. How far would this be? Well, we know that the red angle was 70, so it's 70 degrees short of 360. So take 360 minus 70, and that would give us a 290 degree positive coterminal angle. Okay, let's try another example. This time we will be doing this in radian measure. Let's say that we have an angle that's 5 pi over 8. So we begin drawing that angle. Initial side, 5 pi over 8. Well, 1 pi over 8 would be halfway around the circle. Straight up and down would be 4 pi over 8. So the terminal side would be about right here. That's 5 pi over 8. Let's find our negative coterminal angle. Start at the initial side. How far would it be to come all the way around to the terminal side? Well, if you go halfway around, that's 1 pi. And then since the black angle is 5 pi over 8, what remains is 3 pi over 8. So that would give us a negative 1 3/8 pi. But don't leave your answer as a mixed number. Write it as an improper fraction. So our correct answer would be negative 11 pi over 8. Always change it to an improper fraction. If we want to find a positive coterminal angle, like what we've been doing so far, start at the initial. We can't stop at the terminal because that would be the same as the original black. So we have to go all the way around the whole circle and then come back. So around the whole circle is 2 pi plus 5 pi over 8. So that gives us 2 5/8 pi. Or change that into an improper fraction, gives us 21 pi over 8. And we have our two coterminal angles. One more example. Let's start with negative 5 pi over 3. Draw this angle. Negative 5 pi over 3 is the same as negative 1 2/3 pi. So we go in a negative direction, negative 1 2/3. There's 1/3, 2/3. So we would have our terminal side up here. We've gone negative 1 2/3. Let's find a negative angle. Well, when we do the negative angle for this, we gotta start and go all the way around, but that's the same as the original black. So continue around the circle a second time and stop. So when you look at this, the red angle went around 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, plus the 2/3. So actually negative 3 2/3 pi. If you convert that, that becomes negative 11 pi over 3. And that would be the negative coterminal angle. As far as finding the positive one, this one looks pretty simple. We could just start here and just draw it up to the terminal side. How far would that be? Well, we had come around 2/3 to the terminal side, so that just leaves a 1/3 pi, or pi over 3. And that would be the positive. Let me know if you have questions today.